If you haven't heard of the Land Rover journey of discovery, well, let me fill you in. A few months ago, Land Rover built the millionth version of the Discovery, and to mark the occasion, it decided to go on an epic voyage from Birmingham, where the car's built, to Beijing. The journey, well, it's 45 days in. They've covered just over 7,000 of the 8,000 miles, and they've drafted Auto Express in to help them out with the last leg of the trip into Beijing. This is the car. As you can see, it's covered in dirt and grime from the journey. And they're not going to wash it until it reaches its destination, and this is how it's going to look on the Beijing show stand. In terms of modifications, well, it's pretty much a standard car. It's a Russian spec car, actually, which means it's got a petrol 5-litre V8 under the bonnet. That's because diesel isn't so easy to come by. On top, there's a roof rack. That's standard from the accessories range. Anyone can buy that. Here they're using it to cart around jerry cans of extra fuel and extra tyres. The tyres, they're intermediate, of course, because the cars had to deal with snow, sand, mud, and hot tarmac, of course, and there's a bit of underbody protection when the terrain really gets tough. The amazing thing is, of all the 4 identical cars they brought on this trip, there's only been a couple of chips to the windscreen and a couple of punctures. Amazing reliability. So today's my first day driving. It's an absolute monster. We've got 800 kilometres, nearly 500 miles to cover. So without further ado, let's get going. Our progress was stunted when we came across a truck jam that stretched for 15 kilometres. Chinese law dictates that the coal trucks, loaded with 40 tonnes each, aren't allowed into the left-hand lane when there's an accident, so we were allowed to sail serenely past. A third of the country's coal passes along this very road, the Tsingtao Expressway, and the jam was a stark reminder of what's fuelling China's economic boom. That's it, we've made it. We've covered 800 kilometres today, 500 miles, coming from a remote desert town called Zhongwei to this massive city called Taiwan, population 4.1 million. Such contrast. It sounded like a pretty standard day on paper, 800 kilometres on motorways, but as I quickly found out, driving in China is anything but. I think the rule of thumb is assume everybody wants to crash into you and you'll be fine. Today, well, it's quite a special day for all the guys that have been on the trip for, a month and a half now. This is the last proper day's driving when they leave a random hotel in the morning and arrive here in another new location. Tomorrow, we push on. There's another 300 kilometres, and hopefully, all things being good, we should arrive at our final destination in Beijing and the celebrations begin. Really early start this morning. I was up at 5 o'clock. I was woken up by a thunderstorm, in fact, which isn't great news because, as you can see, it's actually given the cars a bit of a wash. It's taken them a month and a half to accumulate all this dirt. I've never seen people so upset by having a relatively clean car. But anyway, we're leaving at 6, trying to beat the traffic out of town, and it's on the road about another 350 kilometres until Beijing, and hopefully, all going well, celebrations can begin. With just a few hundred kilometres to go, the weather closed in around us, and a combination of driving rain, fog and smog slowed our pace significantly. To make matters worse, we pulled off the motorway following a sign to a service station, only to find the service station wasn't yet built. Even so, we pushed on, and the weather cleared for our arrival at one of Beijing's most famous landmarks. So we've made it to Beijing in one piece, and where better to finish our journey in an Olympic year than at the iconic Bird's Nest Stadium in Beijing. So 50 days, 8,000 miles of driving, or actually more like 12,000 when you take into account all the detours. And hats off to the crew, to the people that organise it, to the drivers. It's been a fantastic operation, a fantastic adventure, and I'm privileged to have been a part of it. Land Rover is a brand that stands for adventure, and this has been just that. And if you want to prove how robust and reliable a product is, well, an 8,000 mile journey across the world is the best way to do it. And don't forget, the whole point of this is to raise money for charity. So you can go now and donate towards the £1 million fundraising target at www.landrover.com/million.